Broadcasters Association Awards for Excellence, promoting and advancing the craft and microbrew culture in Northeast PA. This is another edition of
The Friday Beer Buzz!
Wow. Yeah, the Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. Sabatini's, the area's greatest selection of rare craft and imported beers. Growlers and Crowlers, 37 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. And does Jason have a bone to pick with you, Lindo, as you're popping open the beer there? Look at that. That looks fabulous.
Lindo.
Oh my God, people's mouths are watering right now.
Yeah, Bill's here from mybeerbuzz.com. Bill, I don't know if you just heard a few minutes ago, I talked about how I finally went over to the bottle shop.
He saw it.
Listen. Somehow you're saying this is my fault.
No, it's not your fault. Not your fault at all.
He thinks you should have pushed him harder to get there earlier.
I'm just saying, you're a humble guy. That is an amazing place you built. I was more blown away than I thought I'd be, and I'm like, I wish you would have been like, come sooner. That's not your fault.
It's not on me.
I'm just going to tell everyone, Lindo will tell you how amazing his place is, other than pizza and beer. You do that a lot, and it's so much better than you are selling it as. And, like, seriously, I'm like, I probably brought at least one customer in by telling people. I don't know how many people.
Well,
no, I'm kidding, but it's beautiful in there. Beautiful.
I appreciate it. I'm glad that you finally found it time in your super busy schedule in the last 4 years to come see me.
No, it hasn't been 4 years.
Look at these glasses. By the way, behind the scenes.
Is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you. This is what we're doing today is pretty special.
Oh, we are? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, I know this one. I remember this one.
Do you?
I do remember this, but...
All right.
Yeah, because you finally showed up, we decided to go proper glassware and celebrate.
Look at this. For me?
Thank you.
I finally showed up. All right, Bill from mybeerbuzz.com. You are missing out. We got some fabulous glassware here today.
Do you guys want to sing the song I wrote for Bill called Bill Should Come Back to the Studio? We'd love to see him and drink beer with him. I'm working on the mix.
Catchy, but I don't think you can dance to it.
It's not done yet.
Happy Friday. I was almost late because Johnny and I were talking about the cheesecake cake thing I just made a couple days ago. So
oh my God, that looked absolutely fabulous. I think I gained like 10 pounds just looking at the picture.
Well, I can tell you I probably gained 10 pounds just eating a few slices of it. Yeah, it took 3 days to make that thing. You make, like, for those that have not seen it, it's a full-on strawberry cake made with, like, real strawberries and egg whites and all this crazy cheesecake. Right. And then it is covered in cream cheese icing and then covered in strawberry crumbs like those old Captain Crunch popsicles. That was sort of the inspiration.
Let's not tell everybody everything. Make sure you listen to Bill and his new Wednesday cheesecake chat coming up.
All right, so I'm glad to be back. I've been out, 3 weeks, so I'm in the studio hanging out with you guys, except for Bill, who's going to be coming back soon, right? Anyway, tell us about your news.
So we have a Beer Buzz, and it was one that I had to do a lot of research on. Somebody asked me, what do I know about the London beer flood of 1814? Now, I don't know about you guys. Did you guys know anything about this?
I have never heard of this.
I know a little bit about it.
It's one of the few things about 1814 I didn't know about.
Yeah, so it was a brewery called the Horseshoe Brewery, and this is old school. You know, we're going back to, obviously, 1814 here. And when they fermented their beers, they had 22-foot-high wooden fermentation tanks that hold like 3,500 barrels. And at the time, they had a honey brown porter in there, and one of the iron rings around the barrel snapped. And in the end, they dumped 320,000 gallons of beer. And to make it worse, that beer was boiling hot. So you can imagine that rolling down the streets. And it created a 15-foot-high wall of beer. And this, you know, it's like a tsunami of beer. This thing collapsed houses. I mean, it blew through houses and destroyed houses and flooded houses. Unfortunately, 8 people died from the actual incident itself, this beer tsunami. And here's the irony of the whole thing. A 9th victim died when he tried to drink and save the alcohol.
Always that guy
after the beer flood. So that's our Dear Buzz.
Man.
We do have some beer news. Our beer news begins with Firestone Walker in Paso Robles, California. They're adding a cool named beer called Run PNC. That's Paul, November, Charlie, to the Brewmasters Collective, and that's going to be an Imperial Buckwheat Stout aged in tequila and bourbon barrels, so that's got to be really odd, with Saigon and Ceylon cinnamon. That's a 14% ABV, 25 IBU beer, very limited, only 200 cases. They're also working on Let It Loose Imperial Stout, and that is aged in wheated bourbon barrels with toasted cashews, vanilla beans, and sea salt. That big boy is 11.2% ABV and 40 IBU. And our last little bit of news comes from our local Ringling Brewery, and they're adding a beer called Bongo Fizz. I'm not making this up. Bongo Fizz, and it is a premium beer with natural mango flavors. That beer is going to hit 4.5% ABV, and it will be packaged in 12-ounce cans, and it has a dog and a parrot on the label. So check that out. As always, you can find all of this and more detail on mybeerbuzz.com on the Breaking Beer News tab.
Wonderful.
All right, thank you
Lots
very
of
much.
and breaking news, folks, as it happens. I mean, not just what he tells us here throughout the week. You can check it out. I'm pretty impressed by this glassware, but the taste is actually really good too.
Yeah, this is exciting. So for me, everybody, there's no secret. Everybody knows I like Belgian beer. I like imported beer and all over the place with what I drink. But when a new Trappist beer comes in and is available for us, I mean, I try to carry all the Trappist beers we can get. But when a new one comes out from, especially a brewery like this, I was excited. So I think we're going to do it the right way.
Let's see if I've learned anything.
I lied. I didn't bring the proper glassware because you finally showed up to my place. I just brought it
To celebrate. It's for the beer,
I
not
brought it for the beer. But I tried to make you feel important since you ignored me for the last 4 years.
Oh, man.
But Westmalle, or pronounced Westmalle correctly, is a fantastic Trappist brewery, and they came out with Extra, which is a lower ABV, easy drinking Belgian ale that you can have, or the monks can have, and not get completely annihilated as they're drinking it throughout the day.
Nothing like drunk monks. You don't need the drunk monks. That's slow them down a bit.
Pretty much. I mean, what do you think? You trying this? You like it?
Yeah, is this?
I like it.
It's sparkly, but that's not hoppy, correct?
No, it's not. It's not hoppy.
No, this sparkly. I like that. I like that word. It is sparkly.
It's like refreshing.
Yeah, that's going to be the carbonation.
Yeah, it's the carbonation, right? Yeah, I knew that. I actually knew. But is this still brewed under that? See, you taught me this. Trappist monks, is that correct?
Exactly.
And they have a special system of brewing, and it's very particular.
Well, to be a Trappist beer, it has to be first. They have to have monks. It's not the monastery. The brewery's not supposed to be making a profit. They're supposed to be brewing and selling their beer to make money, to have to spread their word and be good for the community and many other things. But it's exactly that.
I'm
Yeah,
learning.
it has to be brewed by it actually has to be brewed by a brewmaster that is a Trappist monk at a Trappist monastery. And we should emphasize how special these beers are. These Trappist beers, historically they go way, way back. There have been as many as 12 Trappist breweries. The number now is down to 10 because we lost the Kel. They no longer have Trappist monks brewing. They are contract brewing it with someone else, so they're sort of on the border. And we lost the American one. We lost Spencer in Massachusetts. So we're down to Westmalle, Chimay, La Trappe, Orval, Montpellier, Roquefort, Westplater, and one of the most famous, and Stift Ingersoll. They're very, very special, and the beers are very, very special. This brewery goes back to 1836 when they actually just were brewing the beers for themselves, as Lindo said. It was just to have sort of potable drinking. They were allowed to have one a day with their meals. And then in 1856, they actually started selling the beer to the outside world. And this beer that you have in front of you is the first beer they actually brewed. This goes back to the very beginning of the brewery.
Wow.
What I want to know is how did Mr. Thomas get his muffins to America? Like, how did you end up being the guy for this beer? Because I know you have a lot of these.
Well,
what's the story of how you ended up being like a place people? Because I know my brother-in-law will come in for stuff like this.
well, for us, the fact that I've always liked Belgian beers might help a little bit. But when we
You
opened
were
up,
recently there, right? We were
right before the pandemic,
Yes.
I went to a couple breweries, Chimay being one of them. I've been to Orval, another Trappist brewery, but that's part of it. But now that we have a lot of them on draft, and when we used to pour the Trappe Wit when it was available, which is formerly from Koningshoven. They changed the name to La Trappe. It's actually a Trappist brewery in the Netherlands. And for us to have everything we can have we have a governorship with La Trappe, so to have that you have to be able to have all the Belgian Trappist ales and all the Trappist ales available in proper glassware. People think the glasses are just fancy. They actually serve a purpose. The glasses with a different shape allows the beer, the flavor, the aroma, the head, everything to come the way the brewery wants it, so you get that pure Trappist experience, which is what the glasses are for. And a new one that we just got in this week, another Trappist ale from England. The first Trappist ale in England is called Tint Meadow.
Okay.
That one is available on our shelves. It was that and the Westmalle Extra actually came at the same time. So 2 new Trappist beers for us was exciting, and they're both good. This is just a nice, clean. If you don't want an IPA, it's not an IPA. It's not hoppy, but it's nice, clean, bright. I mean, for the summer, refreshing.
Right. This is very refreshing. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot too.
I can see it on the heat.
They consider this beer to be a Belgian enkel, and in America we would know that. That's the Dutch word for single. They have a double and a triple, which are a double and a triple. It has more fermentable sugars coming out of the malt. And they also call this a Paters beer, which is Flemish for father's beer. So it's a unique style. It's 4.8% ABV. It's, as Jason mentioned, a little bit hoppy. It's 30 IBU. It actually is a little bit hoppy.
Doesn't taste it though, because I don't get any of that like citrus. I always get like a grapefruit kind of taste to the hoppy beers.
The Belgian yeast takes over, so the Belgian yeast kind of masks that hoppiness a little bit. But it is one you definitely want to try. We will have a cold and available with proper glassware.
With the proper glassware, too.
You got to say it.
Is this one that is like you better come in this weekend, or you may miss out, or are you stocked up?
I'm going to try to stock it right now. We definitely do have enough for a little bit. But,
okay, cool.
It is that, and sometimes when people see the pour and the proper glassware, they're like, "Why is there so much head? You ripped me off." No, the head is a specific amount of head that they want. So you're supposed to see a nice big frothy pour.
Yeah.
You're an unofficial Trappist monk.
Yes.
It's awesome. So you get to Sabatini's and you can experience this for yourself with the proper glassware as well. All right. The Friday Beer Buzz, we're going to, by the way, Bill, great to talk to you again. It's been a while since I've been in.
Thank you.
Breaking beer news, always at mybeerbuzz.com. The Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. Stop thinking about it. Just get there. You'll be knocked off your feet like Jason was. Sabatini's, the area's greatest selection of rare crafted imported beers. Growlers and Crowlers, and 37 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar. Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. Remember, the Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beers and good people together.